Joining me now from Southern California, Executive Director of San Diego County Gun Owners of America, PAC, Michael Schwartz. Michael, just when you think that California has gone off the deep end, can't go any deeper, we have the coup de grace here. I don't know, maybe this isn't the coup de grace. Maybe there's more to come. There's more shoes to dry. I can use all these analogies. But the bottom line is it's unbelievable the assault that the people of California, the residents of California, are allowing the legislature and the governor to perpetuate on their own constitutional rights.
Yeah, I didn't think California gun owners would ever think that they would actually miss Jerry Brown as governor, but he at least vetoed the occasional gun bill where they just are passing anything they want. And this is happening every legislative session. You know, there's no such thing as a bad gun restriction with this legislature in Sacramento. And we're in a state where, you know, we have background checks, multiple background checks before you can buy a firearm. You have to go through a waiting period. You have to take a safety test before you can buy a firearm. So it's not like we're an unrestricted state and they're just catching up with the rest of the country. They are so far beyond the rest of the country and so far beyond what was intended when the Second Amendment was written.
Along with major restrictions on just purchasing ammunition now. That's a task, unfortunately, in the state of California. AB 61, let's start with that. This has to do with the infamous red flag laws. They've just tightened down on these red flag laws in California. So, for example, a co-worker who you might have an argument with can now go to the authorities and say, hey, Graham Ledger, he's a danger. We need to make sure that he doesn't have any firearms in his houses. That's effectively the way this is going to work now.
Yeah, the red flag laws, the gun violence restraining orders are, even the ACLU is coming out and paying attention to how horrible these red flag laws are. Because basically anybody with any kind of accusation, if they have a bone to pick with somebody, they can make some kind of accusation, you get your guns taken away, and then it's your responsibility to spend thousands of dollars and court fees and attorneys to prove that you're not a danger to yourself or others. And basically all the due processes is on the back end. So, you know, what we've been saying for years now is if someone's breaking the law, you can take their firearm. That's been around for decades and decades.
Right.
But if they're not breaking the law, why are we taking their firearm? So I really, no one who supports the gun violence restraining orders, especially to the extent that California is implementing them, no one can really explain to me what the purpose is. What's the need? Why are we taking guns away from people?
Well, we know what the need is, and the need is by the radical fascist left to try and chip away at the Second Amendment. Think about red flag laws, Michael. They attack one half of the Bill of Rights. Second Amendment, of course. The First Amendment, because you're afraid to even speak, because you're afraid to have your guns taken away. The Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, due process, and then also the Sixth Amendment. In many cases, you don't even have a chance to confront your accuser. This wipes out one half of the Bill of Rights, but there's more. But there's more from California. SB 61, this is out of the Senate in the state of California. SB 61, which restricts sales of certain long guns, for example, to young people under the age of 21. So these young people, Michael, can serve in the California National Guard, and we give them a firearm, probably a long gun, but then when they go out in public, this 19-year-old, this 20-year-old can't go out and purchase one.
Yeah, it's now illegal for adults under the age of 21 to purchase a firearm. There was a carve-out for people who had a hunting license. So if you were 19 or 20 and you had a hunting license, you'd be able to purchase firearms. And this is actually eliminating that carve-out as well. So this is being, we're suing actually. This is in court. Our attorney's taking this to court, and we have plaintiffs that are going to fight for their Second Amendment rights. And I think that this is going to end up in our favor, but it's unfortunate that we have to prove to Sacramento that what they're doing is unconstitutional.
It's funny, you hear the Democrats scream about a poll tax, and they accuse the Republicans when they have to produce a voter ID as some sort of poll tax. California is also attacking CCWs, concealed carry permits, by effectively allowing each jurisdiction to charge whatever they want. So if you have a radical sheriff who's running a county and in charge of issuing CCWs, they can say, you know what, we're going to have to charge maybe $1,000 for the CCW, and it's going to price many people out of being able to exercise their Second Amendment rights.
Yeah, particularly in San Diego, this is something we're very concerned about. San Diego, up until just a couple years ago, it was near impossible to get a concealed carry permit so that you could protect yourself outside of the home. And San Diego County Gun Owners PAC actually helped to make sure that most people in San Diego, if they pass the background check and the training and pay the fee and go through the application process, can get a CCW. But now they're lifting the cap. The cap was $100 maximum for the CCW, and by lifting that cap, we're afraid, not just in San Diego, but across the state, that they're going to try to price people out of the ability to defend themselves outside of the home.
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. My favorite, though, new law signed, or new bill signed into law, is the warning labels. There's going to be, I can't even talk about it without laughing, that there's suicide prevention warning. I'm not laughing about suicide. Please don't get me wrong. It's a serious thing, and it's a terrible thing. But you know, this is kind of like the little warning labels they put on mattresses that say "Do not remove." The first thing people do when they get their mattress, they remove the label. This is silly.
It really is. This is virtue signaling at its best, at its purest. Certainly not its best. It's absolutely ridiculous. This is so that politicians can go back to their district and say, "Hey, we beat up on honest, law-abiding gun owners," and it's absolutely ridiculous, totally ineffective. It's a total waste of everyone's time and money, and it really should be a shame that they're in Sacramento, rather than solving problems, doing this type of ridiculousness.
Well, Michael, keep fighting the good fight. That's all you can do. Okay, it's either fight or flight, and you're choosing the fight. So God bless you, Michael. Thank you.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.